How would you like to meet someone who has an exquisite taste for gymnastics? Or how about someone who's competed in over 20 competitions all over Connecticut? How about a young woman who can do a back walkover on a 4-inch beam, or do a back tuck and make it seem like nothing? Or maybe even do 2 front flips on the vault. Bars, beams, floor, and vault, this girl does it all. She practices every day of the week to do what she loves so much and has been doing the sport since she was 4 years old. The Humanities Communication Arts Department at Norwalk Community College presents The New Directors, the show that introduces you to television's future writers, directors, and personalities. And now join our host, Erica Hunter, to meet the new directors.
Thank you for joining us for today's edition of The New Directors. All of the people involved with this program are students in the television production course and are directing, switching, controlling audio, operating cameras, and acting as talent for the first time today. The guests you are about to meet are students who, when not on camera, are behind the scenes working hard to bring this program to you with as few mistakes as possible. Each student will write and direct 4 different productions. This program will give them the chance to talk about themselves, the productions they're planning, and give you the chance to get to know them and watch their progress throughout the semester. Our guest today is a person who has a love for gymnastics and has over 9 years experience competing all over Connecticut. She also has a keen interest for journalism and photography. We would like you to meet today's guest, Simone Judway. Hi, Simone. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. It's great to have you today.
Thank you.
We want to learn a little bit about you. First question is, what is your passion? I think we got a little taste of that.
Yeah, well, definitely my passion most likely is gymnastics. I mean, I've been competing gymnastics since I was about 4 years old, up until about the age of 13. And then at that age, I kind of got bored with it and decided maybe to do something else, so I decided to do cheerleading. Cheerleading was like gymnastics in a way, but not really, because we did it, but you really didn't get to perform on the floor or the vault. So after 2 years, I decided to go back into gymnastics, which I was very glad I did. And I did it for high school. We finally got a gymnastics team my junior year. And I competed junior to senior year. And the video that's actually playing is from my senior year at Norwalk High School. And one thing is, most people don't think, but gymnastics is one of the hardest sports out there, because it's very hard to do what I do, to do a back walkover on a 4-inch beam. But I competed what I would say is an all-around event. I'm all-around, which means I compete on the vault, the floor, bars, and the beam. Out of those, I would definitely say my favorite are the balance beam and the floor. The balance beam I like because it's one of the hardest things, and judges really judge you hard on that. And the vault is you run as fast as you can. You can do anything. Like, it's hard, but you could do it. One of my favorite events to do in the vault is a front, which is you run, you do a back handspring onto the vault, and then you do 2 front flips over and try to land and try not to fall, hopefully. But it's really hard, especially on the floor, because if you step out of the white line, you get 5/10 of a deduction off. Mm-hmm. If you don't land the trick right or you're shaky, that's 1/10 of a point off. It's very hard when it comes to judging, especially when you're in finals or semifinals. But I love it. I mean, I'm glad my mom got me into it. If I wasn't into it, if my mom didn't get me into it, I honestly don't know what I would have done. Because I probably would have been stuck with cheerleading, which got bored cheering for a crowd when the crowd doesn't help you or cheer you back. So.
Right.
But it is definitely fun. It is a very hard sport. If I would suggest trying to do it. I mean, I help kids out. I do it. It's fun. I absolutely love it.
Simone, that's incredible. I mean, it's clear it takes a lot of work.
It is.
So let's change gears a little bit. Why are you taking the TV production course?
Well, I never planned on taking it to begin with, but I found out for one of my requirements for my major, journalism, I had to take it. So it wasn't that bad, but I've always wanted to learn what goes on behind the cameras, like what people's jobs and responsibilities are and how the whole editing process works. Mm-hmm. Another reason is I've been interested in photography, and since photography and video cameras are somewhat alike, I figured it would be fun since I like taking photos. In the future, who knows, since I like it so much, could possibly be a career change. I don't know for sure yet.
It sounds like you've learned some great things. Why don't you tell us about some of the more useful things that you've learned in this course?
Well, I actually learned how to operate a video camera properly. We got to learn the right way to shoot, such as how to tan, how to tilt, pan, and how to do slow zoom-ins and zoom-outs. I learned how the whole editing process is done, how to do voiceovers and add in effects such as dissolves, keying, and wiping. I've learned how to manually fix exposures on the video cameras and how to fade in and out from black. And I've also learned the whole team concept to TV production. Like, you have to work as a team, otherwise stuff won't work out properly.
So true, so true. It sounds like you've actually worked on 4 projects through this course. Why don't you tell us a little bit about, I've got the sequence, fall foliage, campus story, and science day.
Alright, well, the first one that we did, the sequence, it's where we learned how to do basic camera techniques such as over-the-shoulder shot, medium shots, close-up shots, and more. You know, we learned how to shoot from different heights, and we also learned how to shoot close-ups of still objects and people. But yet we couldn't move the cameras. If we had to move them, we had to stop recording and then move them over to a different area and then start it up again. But the person that we were shooting had to sit there and stay still, otherwise it wouldn't work out right. That was very hard. The fall foliage, actually, I shot at Cranberry Park in Norwalk. It's very beautiful to shoot there. We actually got to go off campus for that, which I liked. We worked on the composition, framing technique, especially during the close-up, because, you know, especially if it was windy with the leaves. We also used editing to bring everything together, which is what I liked, and make it better. So if you shot something and then you missed it and you go back and shot it, it came out better. And we got to pick out music to match the mood. So that was fun. The campus story, we actually learned how to create a storyboard and use a script. We used video techniques that we learned from our sequences, and we also learned how to edit better and use effects better as well, and we got to kind of make how we wanted everything to be. We got to basically make up our own story and how we were going to do it, and sit down with who we were using and tell them that certain things they have to do, and how there's really no script and they can't talk, and if they do, then that's amongst themselves. Our last one was Science Day, which was very fun. We used non-scripted audio and video. We got to interview John Dolahan. We got to record his projects and everything else. That was very fun. And we cut the tape footage. It was about 2 hours of tape, and we had to cut it to about 2 minutes, which was hard. But we also developed interviewing skills, which was fun, because, you know, in a way it's kind of like journalism, but with video. So I actually like that a lot.
Well, those are great. You did a really good job. Tell us about your best project. Which was your favorite?
I would definitely have to say my best project is the campus story, because I did the best editing with it, and it was my favorite, and we got to actually go off campus. We're going to watch this for a moment.
So some great tricks in there.
Yeah. The hardest part was having to film the bike and the skateboard, because they were actually moving, because we had to stop the camera and I had to move it, and they had to stand right there and not move, otherwise it wouldn't look right when I started recording again. It made it look like there were like a lot of cameras, more than one, but I used one camera for the whole time I filmed, and it was a lot of fun. We also got to use the zoom-ins and zoom-outs, which I perfected in the fall foliage sequence and Science Day. The other part that made it kind of hard is everything had to be done on campus, which was kind of hard because we had to get special privileges to talk to people, to saying that I was going to have a bike and a skateboard coming in here to ride around. I had to talk to security, and they had to sit there and watch and make sure nobody would get hurt. So I like that a lot.
Yeah, that was pretty exciting.
It was. It was a lot of hard work.
Yeah. Well, speaking of which, you've done some good work. What's next?
I'd like to finish editing Science Day, because that was one of my other fun projects, because I didn't finish editing it completely, and I would maybe like to finish it completely and see how it would turn out. I would definitely like to film more and maybe create something longer and edit it, see how it would come out. It would take longer, but I think it would be a lot of fun. And maybe edit someone else's film. I'm not quite sure about that yet, though.
Okay. And what about long-term goals? What do you expect from a long-term perspective?
I definitely want to graduate from NCC with my associate's degree in journalism and then move on to four-year universities such as Southern Connecticut. They have a great journalism program there, and then eventually graduate from there with my bachelor's degree in journalism and work for a magazine company. So that's what I would love to do. And maybe take some TV courses in the future and edit some of my competition videos, because my mom who taped them, they did not come out well, very shaky hands, and you could tell they're home videos.
So you're going to make them professional.
Yes.
Well, Simone, it was great to meet you.
Me too.
Today we got to meet someone who shares with us her passion and excitement for gymnastics. As a new TV director, she hopes to apply what she's learned at NCC to possibly film future competitions. She also plans to use the new knowledge from Television One to edit her gymnastic videos in the future. We would like to thank Simone for joining us today. It was great. Thank you, Simone.
You're welcome.
And we hope you enjoyed meeting one of television's future directors, and we hope you will continue to join us each week to watch our progress. Thank you, and good day.
This has been The New Directors, with your host, Erica Hunter, directed by Tamara Teat. I'm your announcer, Will Gentile. The New Directors is a Norwalk Community College student production.